What's in the box? Oh, there's an ant. Die. Ah, he's coming at me. Got him. Tried these on a beehive the other day. They're pretty comfy. I don't know if I like them as much as my fifths yet. I'll have to skate them and find out. But I'm pretty stoked. It's one of the like 4 new boot brands. Shout out to Rand Bickmore for making this. IABTY. If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. It feels kind of like a USD 7 with a little more like width right at the tip of the toe. That's kind of neat. Give her a rip, see how she feels.
Yeah.
All right, so this is the first impressions video. You guys saw me unbox it earlier. I only had a couple clips in this video. I did do like all the tricks I know how to do, but you guys have seen me do a bunch of like basic tricks. I'm not gonna bore you and put you through that. But I just wanna give my initial impressions and talk about how this skate skates purely stock. I skated it, other than the laces. The rope laces, and that's not a big difference. Just the rope laces, I just wanted color. But laces are laces. The rope laces were okay. I think the flat laces are a little more comfortable, but that's not really what we all care about. We want to talk about the skate, how it skates. So let's start off with the fit. The fit is pretty good. Might run a little small for me. I was able to downsize just barely into the 8-9 shell. I have kind of that cursed foot size where like most 8-9 shells are kind of too small, and most 10-10.5 or 10/11 shells are way too big. But the 9 was able to work. It's not quite as comfortable as my Fifth Element size 9s, but it's pretty good. It feels about like a USD 7 or a God's Team, but a little wider in the toe box. So I think that's why it worked. But yeah, so it's pretty comfortable, and it comes with, this is the stock liner, and the stock line, it fits really well with the stock liner for me. It like is more comfortable than my Intuitions in this skate. Like Intuitions are my favorite liner, but in this skate, the stock liner has the most room with all the liners that I've tried so far, which I am gonna be tinkering more about that and maybe make another video later. So yeah, that's the fit. The stock liner is pretty nice. It's really simple, bare bones, which is what Duran and the Nick Swan, the guys over at Tnec and Beehive Skate Shop, that's what they're going for. They just want something that someone can buy, put on their foot, go skate, get experienced, and learn on. And for that purpose, this skate is amazing. Like what the goal of this skate was, I personally think they nailed it. But let's just go over the rest of the features of the skate and get more into the nitty-gritty details. I'll tell you more about the things I like and didn't like. So this is the Tnec frame, sole frame. So it's their frame and sole plate kind of molded into one. And then it's on top of this boot, which this boot is a really good mold. It's the old Razor's Impact mold. A lot of the haters on the internet when this first was coming out, they're like, it's just an M12. No, it's not an M12. You're ignorant if you think that. The fit is totally different. I have an M12 here. It's way narrower and longer on the M12. This is an M12-10, and it fits barely longer, but maybe narrower than the Tnec 9. This is an old Razor's Impact mold, which was open sourced from what I understand and know. And it's cool. The skate feels, and then the cuff looks like they rebuilt it. It does look like they took some cues from the like Rossi style cuff. If you look at the shape and the line, it's pretty similar. I do still think Rossi's cuff sits a little better because this one has like a, I don't know if you can see that. It overextends back, which I don't know if I'm a huge fan of. I think they could, if they were to fix it or change it, if they added a little more plastic right through this area and make it so it can't go back as much, that would maybe make it a little better. So that's just one of my little gripes. The buckle's good. It's riveted on. The cool thing about this skate is other than putting your axles and wheels on, there's no tools. It is the most like forget about it skate that there is, and it's so light. So that brings me to kind of some of the things in this skate. It's really cool because it seems like they took cues from a bunch of different skates. So they have their frame, but the sole plate has some designs from the Fifth Element, but the backslide groove is kind of more like the Colt, where you have to kind of groove it in yourself. The cuff is kind of like an M12 cuff, but kind of its own thing. And the boot itself is like a more roomy Colt or a wider M12 a little bit. So there's a lot of different things going into it, and it's kind of unique that way. Kind of how the standard skates pulled a couple things from different skates they think are good. I believe that's what Tnec did here, and yeah, I think it's really good. So that's the features of the skate and kind of about it. The wheels are pretty good. They're really soft. Skating flat in them, I'm not very good at skating flat anyways. I'll totally just let you know that now. Skating flat in them was a little scary. They're really grippy, so they ride really good, and the flat setup is fun to ride on. I do think I'm going to downsize a little bit and get a harder wheel, or keep maybe about the same size, like a 58 or 59, and do a bullet wheel, and that should be a little better for flat. I also have a sneaking suspicion that I know that some people would probably curse me for saying this, but I kind of want to skate this anti. I think it would be really fun anti-rocker as well. And there is whisperings. I don't know a whole lot, and I don't want to ruin anything and give things away, but there is whisperings of a couple pros who are a pretty big deal that skate anti-rocker specifically that you might see on this anti. So that's cool. Let's talk about how they do tricks. So like the normal sole tricks on ledges and rails amazing. Ledges, even soles and acids or whatever, I would get a little bit of, it wouldn't like hang me up, but it would make like a even just doing a sole grind, and that was kind of scary because I haven't skated flat in a long time. And again, that's not an issue with this skate. That's just me not being good at skating flat, and it made me nervous. But yeah, the sole tricks work really good on everything. Groove tricks. The royales were super easy in this. Like when I was do back and front royales on ledges and on rails, didn't have any problem. Hardly ever got wheel bite on any royale type trick. Even did a switch front side royale, which I did get wheel bite a couple times. I had to really focus on, you have to land in boot down when you're skating flat. But was even able to squeak in a couple switch royales that were decent. But, and top sides were really good on it too. Didn't notice anything wrong with top sides. Farves for some reason, and I'm sure it's my technique. But it's kind of a bummer. I was getting really confident in my Fifth Elements with an anti-rocker frame. I felt like I could farve and switch farve kind of whatever I wanted to recently. And on this, to do a regular farve was tons of work. I had to like almost relearn how to farve. And then the switch 5, forget it. It was just, I was getting wheel bite instantly. It was just spitting me out. I couldn't get it to lock and slide in switch 5. And I'm sure with some refinement and some time, I could make that go away and figure out how to skate flat. But 5s they're a trick that skating flat makes much more difficult. But yeah, and they're really fun. The way they skate is so unique. Me and Duran were talking about it when I bought these at the shop. He said there, in Duran's word, there's almost 2 outliers. There's like everything else is kind of in the middle, and it varies a little bit, but it's kind of like all other skates perform or feel somewhat similar to some extent. But then you have 2 outliers, which is like on one end you have the shadows that are just completely unique and different and weird. And then you have these, which in a totally different way, they're completely unique and different. And I'd say that that's pretty accurate. But yeah, they are super fun. I think I'm going to make a video comparing these to this new Standard company because they're both new shells, new companies. And I think that will be a fun video, so stay tuned for that. And I'm going to also maybe do an updated video where I skate these with some Intuitions or some other liners and give you a little bit more in-depth stuff. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. And get outside. It's fun.